Hey everybody, it's your best friend. Go shave and get a haircut, you fat fuck. And I'm here to talk to you about the ProJared controversy, folks. Oh man. You know, I have to admit, the last few weeks I have not been very attentive to the internet. I recently got a job and I've spent a lot of time working at that job. I also have been cutting back on going on Twitter. I've deleted Discord completely. So many social media, I don't go on Snapchat even anymore. All these social media things, I've just cut out of my life completely. Gotta say, it's been pretty nice. Been pretty great. But despite abandoning practically all of social media and the internet as a whole, despite being busy, feverishly working day in and day out at a non-YouTube job, folks, I still somehow had ProJared's new video pop up on my radar. And I imagine some people have been curious to hear what I think about his video and what's been going on with him. And to frame the discussion, I would like to point out that a few days before ProJared's video came out, I put up a video on this channel, a compilation of some of the Q&A questions I've received in live streams. And in that video, I gave ProJared some, in my view, expert advice. Now, the problem is when you try to keep everything a secret, and when you refuse to cop to your mistakes. You gotta post a bunch of cringy videos saying, oh, I did this and this and this, and then it's fine. And then you move on. Just be open and honest, and if people don't like your honesty, well, you know, they can be mad, and I'll be over here jerking off to all these tit pics. Sounds like it's your problem and not mine. So here's the advice I gave ProJared in that video, in case you don't remember. I said, where ProJared fucked up was that he did not immediately sit down in front of the camera and just talk. You go over the things that you've done. You say, oh yeah, no, I did that. Yeah, no, I'll cop to that. That is something that is true, and you know, it was a mistake. You do that, and you also clear the air on the things you didn't do. Oh yeah, I've also been accused of this and this and this, and that's just ridiculous. And if you have evidence, of course, show the evidence. But you can't always be expected to have evidence to support you from every single random accusation, because they were stacking up. ProJared, he had them stacked the fuck up. And in his video, he knew which battles to choose. You can't address every single allegation against you, especially when you have the internet as a whole just dogpiling, jumping on the bandwagon of hatred. There's no possible way. ProJared would have to spend the rest of his life addressing every single bullshit thing that people on the internet made up about him just because they wanted to jump on. They wanted to get on the cancel culture train. So that's the advice I gave ProJared. Just sit down in front of the camera, admit your mistakes, clear the air about things that aren't true, but most importantly, the most important thing is to keep going. Keep making videos. So that's the advice I give ProJared, more or less, in my Q&A video. Then a few days later, he drops a video literally doing every single thing I told him to do. Am I taking credit? No, of course not. Obviously, his video was well underway. Well, he was working on it and getting all his evidence and all that shit. I imagine he spent the last 3 months of his life meticulously crafting what that video would be in his mind. So of course I'm not gonna take credit, but I am very happy that he essentially did all the things that I said to do, and that it worked for him. Because the lesson that can be learned from the ProJared scenario and even the Andy Signore scenario and all these other scenarios of cancel culture, what I've learned and what I would like to pass on to all of you is that cancellation only exists within your own mind. You are only as canceled as you choose to be. The outside world surely will try to cancel you as best as they can. They'll pull out all the stops. In ProJared's case, you have literal children just making up lies about him. Straight up fucking lies that everybody is believing. But they can't cancel you. Only you can cancel you. What they're trying to do is to bog you down with hatred and negativity so that you quit. They want you to cancel yourself. The only way you can get canceled by somebody other than you is when you get fired. Like in the case of Andy Signor. He had a similar thing happen to him, a bunch of false accusations come out, and he gets fired from his position at Screen Junkies. So what does he do? He gives up. He says, you know what? I've been canceled. There's nothing more I can do. No! He keeps going on a new channel called Popcorned Planet. And as of, I think, yesterday, Andy Signor launched a Kickstarter to make a documentary about the dangers of cancel culture. He had a $10,000 goal. And as of yesterday, his Kickstarter was funded at $13,000. Does that sound like a canceled man to you? No, because the cancellation is only in your head. They can take away your job. They can destroy your reputation. They can do any number of things to you. But if you decide to keep going, you can. And you won't be canceled. That's why all the shit in ProJared's video, to me, doesn't really matter. I'm sure it matters a lot to him to clear the air and say, no, I was not doing that with blah, 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 blah. That means a lot to him. In the eyes of the law, it probably means a lot. But to me, as a viewer, the only thing he said that truly mattered was when he said, I'm going to continue making videos because that's what I love. As a viewer, that's all that matters to me. I'm not the type of person to give a single fuck about the bullshit celebrities do in their private, or maybe not so private, everyday lives. I don't give a shit. I don't watch ProJared myself. I'm familiar with him. I used to watch his Nuzlocke, but I haven't watched his actual videos in years. But in my mind, even if 90% of the shit they were saying about him was true, as a viewer, I don't even give a fuck. Why would I? I just want free entertainment. So as long as ProJared is still making shit, regardless of whether he's innocent or guilty, I would keep watching him if I was a viewer of him, which admittedly I'm not really. But I'm glad he was able to clear his name on a bunch of the accusations and all of that. I'm sure this has been just a huge stress reliever for him. A huge load has been lifted from his back. But at the end of the day, the cancellation would have been on him. If ProJared never made that video, if ProJared decided, I'm never making a video again, then he will have canceled himself. It wasn't everybody else. It wasn't the bullying from all the big channels. It wasn't Twitter endorsing the hashtag ProJared bullshit. That's all horrible. Truly fucking horrible. A horrible, horrible situation to be in. But in terms of cancellation, that is 100% on him. That is his decision. Unless you're Andy Signor's boss, you watching at home do not have the power to cancel anybody. And even Andy Signor's boss couldn't cancel him because he's still going and he's still successful. That's the message you should take away from this. No matter what adversity you face in your life, no matter how much the world around you wants you to fail, cancellation, giving up, is 100% on you. On you. You decide when you're canceled. You decide how much you can put up with. You just have to have the determination. You have to have the drive inside your core to keep going when everybody else wants you to stop. And that is why today, Andy Signore and ProJared, they might not be where they were before, but they're not canceled. In Andy Signore's case, for over a year, they wanted you to think he was canceled. I even made the mistake of having him be on Boomer vs. Zoomer, and me and Asterios, I guess, I mean, I wouldn't really say we bullied him. I think we pranked him a little bit, but I was also genuinely excited to speak to him. If you could go back and listen to that episode, have fun with that. I would like to apologize to Andy Signore for that, because it turns out he really, in my view, didn't really do anything wrong at all. And I decided to join in on the dog pile and shit all over some guy who was already being shit on by everybody else. And even despite me being a shithead towards him, he still chose to not be canceled. He still worked every single day on that channel, and now he's got a viewer base back. He's got a successful Kickstarter. He's making his dream project. And best of all, he's no longer a puppet. He no longer has an executive who can fire him when a bunch of emails come in lying about their employee. You can't be fired when you are your own boss. And that's the attitude you should take away from this. You can't lose. You can't give up. You can't be canceled if you choose to keep going. I see ProJared's situation as horrible and malicious as it was towards him, and this guy has been through the fucking ringer like almost nobody else I've ever seen. The moment he said, I'm gonna keep going and keep making videos, that was the most inspiring thing maybe that I've ever seen. ProJared has had it worse than just about anybody, and he still wants to make videos because that's what he loves. Those are my thoughts on ProJared and cancel culture.